Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of this pick. Last night when I wrapped up, I was thinking that I had gone through all of the calipers that I had found in this pick, and I totally missed, I don't know how I missed it because it's the largest ones, but I missed these. These are a pair of Brown and Sharp outside calipers, and they're massive. Got to reposition the camera just to get them in the shot. So anyways, these are fixed joint calipers, and they are 24 inch. From the center point of the joint here to the tip is 24 inches. So these are officially now the largest set of these types of outside calipers that I have. I was going to keep them just as a novelty, you know, kind of like guys like A-Bomb and that like to have these hanging up on the wall behind them when they're talking or whatever. But I think I might end up selling them. They're not super valuable. Size doesn't always equate to value in this situation. But I do have actually one of my local buyers who is he's a Brown and Sharp collector, so he might really get a kick out of these. And they're clearly marked Brown and Sharp model 821. All right, so this next tote right here is actually another pretty much a freebie. Stuff in here is pretty much the way he had found it from the place he got it from. Clearly water had gotten into this stuff. So this is that bag of drill bits was actually in here originally. This is a large chuck key by the looks of it for style chuck that uses a square post on it. So that's not something you see very often on modern chucks. I think older chucks had that. That's not to say you couldn't use this on a another chuck. You could just put a piece of square stock in here, really, and then that would give you possibly a way to use this key. This actually has a whole part number and everything on it. It's a number V35B G-Door, G-E-D-O-R-E, vanadium, of Germany. Looks like number 14. Yeah, it beats me what the heck this is for. It's being described as a pipe spanner. So I wonder if this is for actually shutting some kind of valves or whatever, but it also appears to be metric. There's one of these for sale on eBay right now for 40 bucks. It's the only one on eBay, and there is no evidence of any that have sold, so yeah, I'll probably die with this thing. Might end up like I said, might just convert it to something else. Another poor, abused Federal snap gauge. Oh man, this is just gross. That's total junk. Well, I thought the other one was in bad shape. That's ridiculous. No, all right. Well, here we go. We've got a wiggler. This is a wiggler. It says Wiggler Center Finder, the Something Tool Company of Orange, Massachusetts. I can't make out the first word on it. So this tube actually is for this wiggler. Let's see what it says on the wiggler itself. Union. A Union Tool Company wiggler. I've never seen one like this style. Look at this. Ball's got a little point on it. So it's like a combination. And then there's already a point on there. So, oh, that's a nice little wiggler for somebody. A diamond for dressing a wheel. A tap, still in its cosmoline or whatever this stuff is. Can't quite make out the size. Not that interested. This must be more taps. M10. Oh, I wonder if he kept the drill with the tap in the bag together. Well, this is just a exercise in heartbreak. Most of what's in here is just really, really badly rusted. And a lot of it is just metric taps. Might be able to even clean them up to make them usable. Here's a big hunk of some sort of synthetic. Might be able to use that something down the road. But this was in there, which is a real shame. This was a brand new in the box Albrecht chuck. So this is 0 to 1/8 inch. So this is the really small one. And this was brand new. and look at it. It's just, ugh. That's really in rough shape. This might be something worth throwing in some vapor rust to see what would happen. This still has water in it. This looks like it was a whole bag of new long drill bits. Ugh. There's a big die, all rusted. Here's one in a plastic box. Actually was able to, for the most part, escape the rust. This is a 1/2 by 14. Here's a big thread gauge, thread plug gauge. It's a 1/2 by 14, same as that die I just had. This has this coating on it, so maybe underneath here there's a salvageable plug gauge, as opposed to this one, which I barely recognized as a plug gauge. If I didn't find this other one in here, I wouldn't have known what this was. I mean, I think it's a plug gauge. A few more diamonds here. These are still okay. This box here is really heavy because it's filled with gauge blocks. They look like the Hoik type of gauge blocks, like out of the Pratt Whitney sets, like I have one of these sets. They're destroyed. You know, that much rust on there. Never going to clean that off without some abrasive and effectively destroying the sizes of these things. Oh, that one maybe could be saved. It's a weird little set. It's actually America's leading jeweler, this box says, but somebody was using it for these gauge blocks. These rods might actually still be worth saving because they're not precision. They're just for holding the blocks together. Here's a little set of transfer buttons. Calling them dowel centers. And there's some more in there with actual nuts on them. So these, yeah, so these are like transfer buttons for woodworking. Huh. See? When you want to locate dowels. It's interesting. A couple of these drive dogs, pretty good sized one there, and then a smaller one there. Rusted, but could probably clean up and be usable. No reason why you couldn't use these on something that you're turning between centers, although they tend to look more like the style that are used on like on crankshaft and camshaft grinding machines. Look at these. Believe it or not, these are gauge blocks. What's left of them. That's the only one you can still kind of see what it was. That one says GSR 15 on it, so it's not the brand I thought it would be. Oh, well, let's get this crap off the bench and get to a better box. Next up, got this box of old standards. This just needs to be re-glued. I don't think I saw any names on these. Yeah, no manufacturer's names anywhere visible on them, so couldn't tell you if they were any good or not. Guess if I had a good standard, I could compare them to. Looks like maybe it's missing one. And I think this box is homemade. What if these standards are shop made? If they are, somebody had a nice grinder. Yeah, this box is almost positive this box is homemade now that I look at it more closely. Look at these hinges. The you know, kind of shoddy workmanship on the woodworking here. Whoever this was who made this box was probably a better machinist than a woodworker. Next up, we've got some better stuff. This stuff was in, I think this was in a Kennedy toolbox that he let me pick through and pick out some items, and these items he had no interest in. So this is going to be the last of the smalls, and then I'll show you the two large items that I, the two fairly large items that I picked from this, which were what I initially went out for. Here's another wiggler, well, box anyways, 828A with shank and point, and it's actually what's in there. And it looks like it might be new old stock. This one, same thing, looks to be in the same shape. That's good. I think I've already got one of these, so sell those. These are, this is a little set, Union Tool, single point scriber, hardened scriber points. I don't know if that's what these are. How many is supposed to be in a box? 6 it looks like. Huh. Well, I think maybe that's what these are. I'm probably going to have to go online to see whether or not I can find a picture of these things, because these are completely unmarked. But I have a sneaking suspicion that these are, in fact, what the box says they are. The question is, I mean, really, why would you need... They're identical, so, I mean, as one gets dull, you just break out another one. Little hook rule with a drill point gauge attachment on it. And this is probably a Starrett. This is a handy little tool. Yep, it's a Starrett. Number 604R, but that's just the blade. And then this is a separate piece that you could buy. So you could buy it together or you could buy it apart. So there should be, let's see. Supposed to be a nut on here to lock this in place. So this is rusted. So that's going to need a little TLC. I'll probably make somebody a deal on that as is. Here's a cool little Starrett number 135 level. I think I've had one of these before too. Yeah, I think that's nickel plated if I recall correctly on these. This is a nice Starrett feeler gauge set. It's a big one. A lot of leafs in this thing. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this is unusual. Look at the size of these. I thought those were all stuck together, but that's a huge leaf. It's 200 thousandths. I've never seen one like this. Oh. That's neat. It's a number 467, in case anybody was wondering. There's a Brown and Sharp disc micrometer. Had a few of these in the past, but I don't think I've ever had a Brown and Sharp one. Have a planer gauge. This is a Starrett number 246. No case or anything. It was just a loose planer gauge. But I did spot. Yeah, you know, ended up finding one post. Actually, that's two. Sorry, they're screwed together right there. See? So we got 2 posts. I'll have to look it up in the catalog and see how many it came with. Maybe this one only came with 2. That would be nice. If this only came with 2, then that would explain. You know what? That doesn't screw in there. Son of a gun. I think this is for something else. Oh, that's a bummer. That does not fit that. Now let's see. Here's the short post from my other Starrett. Yep. So nothing wrong with these threads. Didn't think that there would be. This belongs to some other brand of planer gauge. It's almost got like a chrome finish on it, chrome plating. 3 edge finders and another wiggler. The wiggler is another Starrett 828. This one's been used. Somebody was using these edge finders because they're all engraved. This one's a General 264, General Tool. These other 2 are no-named other than being engraved. This one's engraved Electromotive. That's probably the name of the company that it belonged to. And maybe it's from their tool crib, I don't know. This one's a little biffed. Somebody had a little issue. I guess you could still use the other end. Makes it about worthless. Ah, here's another point for that wiggler I just pulled out of there. Automatic center punch. Hey, it still works. Ah, this is a Craftsman 40542. Haven't had one of these in a while. Find the Starretts. That's cool. Nice little square. This particular one is a Starrett. And even though it's not part of this pick, since I just picked this the other day at the used tool store, I figured I'll include it in this video because it's a nice match for this one. This is a Brown and Sharp. So little 6-inch Brown and Sharp. Quite a bit of wear on it here, but not bad. The handy little protractor. This is a 493, a C493B. The C designates that this is chrome satin finish. I like this style. I think I already have one though. And this box is actually for the number 22C drill point gauge. So this box is actually for this. Oh, can tell what that is right off the bat. That's a Starrett indicator tool, probably from a last word set. This should be pressed on, push fit on there, stuck on there. Then I spotted, no case for it, but I spotted this lowly little inside micrometer with one rod on it. It is marked that it's a Starrett, but it must be an earlier Starrett because there's no number on it that I can see. So then it's got one rod on it. It's got the 3 to 4 inch rod. And then I dug around through all the other drawers and everything, and I did find some more. This one right here appears to be maybe the smallest one. Actually, that's got a different style to it, though. I wonder if that doesn't even fit this. Yeah, that's for something else. So these are appear to be the appropriate rods for this set. So I found one, two. Let's see, it's got an unusual tip on it. A couple other long ones. All right. But then I found this one. Another head. So that's weird. It's got this little sleeve on it. It's almost like an extension sleeve. What if that sleeve is 1/2 inch? Gives you exactly 1/2 inch, I bet. But this is also the same kind of head. So it must have been more than one set originally, and all the pieces just got lost. We may never know what the heck this goes to. Oh, here's another rod. And then I found this, which this is really unfortunate that this is not in its case with all of its rods. This is a nice Starrett number 823 inside micrometer. This is an inside tubular micrometer, I think they call this type, because it's got these big, thick barrel-like rods that go on it. There's supposed to be, in the case, there'd be a little cap that screws on here, so you could use it in its shortest size, and then you would take the cap off and you would screw on these rods. Actually, this tip might come off. No, maybe not. No, I don't believe that does. So that kind of really limits the use of this thing, which is a shame because this is an expensive micrometer. And last of the smalls, we've got ourselves a nice little inside caliper micrometer, I think is what they call this. Now, I believe I have one of these now. I'll have to check and see what size I have. This is a number 700. This was an actual, quite an expensive little micrometer when it came out, when these were new. It appears to be missing a screw there. Not quite sure what the ramifications are going to be of that being missing. Oh, so here's the one I have now. And that's a little thumb screw that's missing there, and that actually is the lock. I forgot how this worked. That this actually locks the thimble. So it's kind of a neat design. So this one can't lock the thimble. Otherwise, looks like it's in decent enough shape. I'll have to decide which of these two I'll keep.